Where's Dad When I'm Scared? The first quarter of this was animated solely by Phil Vischer, right up to the moment when Junior enters his bedroom. Dad wants me to forgive them. Parents wrote letters to Big Idea asking why there was no silly song in the video. The reason was that silly songs were never intended to be a recurring segment. Are You My Neighbor? Jimmy and Jerry's voices are Phil and Mike doing impressions of an old boss.
Well, I got a little bit hungry, so I was just snacking on the sun table.
Rack, Shack, and Benny. The voices of the Peas in the final song are the Big Idea animators. Phil and Mike grouped them in a room to sing. Dave and the Giant Pickle. This video introduces the character LarryBoy, who would receive his own video in the next year. The Toy That Saved Christmas. There's two versions of this video, the original from 1996 and a graphically updated one from 1998. Very silly songs. This video won 2 awards, Best Animated Home Entertainment at the Chicago Film Festival and Best Long-Form Music Video of the Year at the Dove Awards. LarryBoy and the Fit from Outer Space. The reason Junior's dad faints twice is because Phil and Mike wanted to subvert the stereotype of women fainting in harrowing moments. Despite this, they still received some letters from parents. Josh and the Big Wall. Originally, the wall was going to start out small and then rise and extend like a Transformers toy. This idea was scrapped for time and budget reasons. Madame Blueberry. The original silly song idea was about Larry having a crush on a girl in the drive-thru. This changed from Larry to Mr. Lunt, then, because the concept now felt creepier, the drive-thru girl was changed to a cheeseburger, the Mr. Lunt changed to Jerry with Mr. Lunt singing the story. The End of Silliness. The diner the video takes place in is a reference to the famous Nighthawks painting by Edward Hopper. LarryBoy and the Rumor Weed. Because of how intense the previous LarryBoy had come off the kids, Phil had debated taking the VeggieTales logo off the cover for Rumor Weed, so it wouldn't appear like just another VeggieTales video. This is also why there's no countertop segments to frame the story. King George and the Ducky. The in memoriam screen at the end for Lumpy is referencing the old animation software Big Idea previously used to make the show, as this would be the first video to be animated in Maya. Hilariously, the same software that's used to animate South Park. Esther, the Girl Who Became Queen. The island of perpetual tickling is based on a fear Mike and Rocky had as a child of being tickled nonstop. Lyle, the Kindly Viking. At the end of High Silk Hat, Scallion 1 laments that he'd never been given a name despite being on the show since the very beginning. Later on Big Idea's website, fans were asked to submit names they thought would fit the character. Ultimate Silly Song Countdown. This video was released on September 15, 2001, 4 days after the September 11th attacks. The Star Christmas. The dates on Captain Millward's jail cards are the respective birthdates of Phil and Mike. The Wonderful World of Entertainment. This video is infamous on the internet for predicting both modern internet humor and the use of generative AI.
Why did the chicken cross the road?
I don't know. Why did the chicken cross the road?
Weed Eater.
The Ballad of Little Joe. The song playing over the technical difficulties card is His Cheeseburger from Madame Blueberry.
Can we have a second? They can't do a Western this time. I can prepare. I need the Bible.
An Easter Carol. This was the last episode made before Big Idea was officially bought by Classic Media and would outsource animation to other studios. A Snoodle's Tale. The hands and feet seen in Dr. Jiggle and Mr. Sly were originally intended for the villain of the cancelled Bob and Larry movie, as confirmed by director Brian Roberts. Sumo of the Opera. In the audio commentary, directors Mike Naraki and David Pitts refer to the video as thematically relevant, due to all the changes and setbacks Big Idea had faced over the previous year, so a lesson about perseverance felt therapeutic to work on. Duke and the Great Pie War. The original title for this video was The Princess and the Pie War, which Larry mentions at the end of the show.
Even though it was hard.
Yep, and in the story of the Princess in the Pie War,
Minnesota Cuke and the Search for Samson's Hairbrush. While walking through the catacombs, Minnesota faintly hums Where's My Hairbrush from Are You My Neighbor? Lord of the Beans. After the video's release, Phil received a cease and desist notice from New Line Cinema due to the show's parody of Lord of the Rings being dubbed illegal. Sherlock Holmes and the Golden Ruler. This is the last VeggieTales video to have a VHS release. LarryBoy and the Bad Apple. The show Alfred watches was originally going to be done in claymation, but because of how difficult the process became, the style was switched to 2D animation, with all recorded attempts of the claymation version destroyed. Gideon Tuba Warrior. The appearance of the Pirates Who Don't Do Anything was done to promote the upcoming Pirates movie. Mo and the Big Exit. The silly song, A Mess Down in Egypt, heavily references the show The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, to the point the original title for the song was The Fresh Prince of Egypt. The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Jimmy was originally going to play the role of the wizard, but the role switched to Archibald as he just fit the character better. Tomato Sawyer and Huckleberry Larry's Big River Rescue. The narrator, Clark Wayne, is a parody of Mark Twain, just like Tomato Sawyer is a parody of Tom Sawyer, and Huckleberry Larry is a parody of Huckleberry Finn. Abe and the Amazing Promise. The inclusion of Junior on the countertop and the set blowing away to reveal the story is a direct homage to Josh and the Big Wall. Junior was even going to say deja vu, but the line was cut for time. Minnesota Cuke and the search for Noah's umbrella. As Minnesota and Julia leave, one child says,
Come back, senor! We will sing the dance of the cucumber!
referencing the silly song from Rack, Shack, and Benny. St. Nicholas, a story of joyful giving. As Bob mentions, there's not much information on the real-life St. Nicholas, which made the episode hard to produce. Pistachio, the little boy that wouldn't. Some scrapped ideas for the Fox's final question included how many jelly beans were in a jar and an overly complicated math problem.
But what is the square root of 2 times the rate of consumption of the Pythagorean? What?
Sweet Pea Beauty. This video is infamous for having the most animation errors in a VeggieTales video, clocking in around 100 total. Some of these were fixed on future releases. It's a Meaningful Life. This is the only time we see a pregnant vegetable, and, yeah, it's cursed. 'Twas the night before Easter. The Scallions declaring themselves a quartet references the actual quartet they formed with Frank and Celery for the silly song Yodeling Veterinarian of the Alps. Princess and the Pop Star. There were multiple versions of the script that gave different ways and reasons that Princess and Vanna swapped places, including one draft where the girl swapped on accident. This was switched to on purpose so the characters would learn their lesson. The Little Drummer Boy. The camel is the same asset as Reginald the camel from the Jonah movie.
And
Robin Good and His Not So Merry Men. The lesson for this video was picked via a questionnaire on Facebook. The Penniless Princess. Sarah Crew's dad was originally going to be played by Junior's dad. Storyboards can be seen at this original casting, as well as recorded voice lines.
you're going to have to leave today.
Oh, Sarah, I'm gonna miss you terribly. But I know you will be brave.
The League of Incredible Vegetables. According to the Big Idea website, Alfred's biggest fear is power outages, which makes sense considering the scene in Fit from Outer Space when his computer gets unplugged. The Little House That Stood. The original version was going to go full 3 little pigs and have Bob use bricks for the house. This was changed to better convey the moral of using a foundation. McLarry and the Stinky Cheese Battle. The original title was McLarry and the Barbarians. Mary Larry and the True Light of Christmas. In one of the stores in the mall, 2 of the portraits feature Ephraim Apley from LarryBoy and the Bad Apple and the orphans from Gideon Tuba Warrior. Veggies in Space, The Fennel Frontier. There are multiple references to the Gourds Must Be Crazy segment from Are You My Neighbor, though it's never stated if this is meant to be a direct sequel. Celery Night Fever. At the wrap party for the video, a prank was pulled where an animation played of the characters dancing to the, at the time popular song, The Harlem Shake. The whole thing was animated by one person. Beauty and the Beat. The beat in question is played by Rob Paulson, who would later provide voices for the VeggieTales Netflix series. Noah's Ark. This is the only video to use the designs from the VeggieTales Netflix series.
Double time!
Jonah. Because of how tight production was, animators from other productions like Jimmy Neutron would regularly be recruited to help with the movie. The Pirates Who Don't Do Anything. This is the only piece of VeggieTales media to not explicitly mention God or Christianity. LarryBoy The Cartoon Adventures. The episode, LarryBoy and the Angry Eyebrows, would be readapted into an episode of the VeggieTales show. VeggieTales in the House and in the City. This marks the only time that Junior Asparagus is not voiced by Lisa Vischer. In this case, he's performed by Trust McNeil. The VeggieTales show. The episode Samson's Bad Hair Day makes numerous callbacks to VeggieTales' original retelling of Daniel and the Lion Den, including the Scallions quoting their song,
Oh no, what we gonna do?
The king likes Daniel more than me and you.
Thank you so much for watching this. Leave appreciation if you liked the video, and I will see you all next time. So, bye!